What's up, BitLab community? I have got an incredible interview today that's right centered in everything that we do here at BitLab Academy. We want to know, yes, crypto, we want to make money, we want to trade, we want to invest, but it all comes down to this one pivotal thing, blockchain. What is blockchain? Well, all of you already have some concept of that. That's why you're here. But I want to more specifically focus on something that we all have heard a lot. And what the hell does it really do? What is it? This Web3 thing that everybody talks about. Why is it so important? And more importantly, if we want our crypto, all these things you guys are trading and buying and investing in, hoping they moonshot, where does that come from? That comes from adoption. That comes from people coming into the space, because as people come in, that so too also means that money is coming into the space. That's how you get a rise in those investments. So I'm not the expert on Web3. I really look into all these things on a daily basis, but I wanted to bring in another crypto project that's developing specifically in Web3 and get their ideas about what's going on in this space, how this can drive adoption forward, and also hear a little bit about what they have going on. So without any further ado, we've got the Galactics team here, our channel partners, and I figured with where they come from, both two different backgrounds, get their perspective on Web3 and also hear a little bit about this thing called Galactics. So Faye, you're up first. You're on the screen. The Lord has chosen you. How'd you end up here? What does this mean to you? Like, how are you involved in this Web3 ecosystem?
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Galactics. I also lead our growth and support teams. I am from Australia, if you couldn't pick the accent. And Australia is actually one of the biggest gaming and capital companies per capita in the world. So we love to play. And in terms of my professional background, I come from over 10 years experience in the tech and investment landscape. So I really started my career in private equity, worked in venture capital for several years before I then went on to build my own company in corporate development and growth. And so just before joining the team at Galactics, actually, I worked on a really cool project where I built the operating blueprint for a venture studio in Singapore. And that was where I really got to understand and learn about the industry of Web3, of tokenomics, and really started to form my own opinion about this paradigm shift that we are entering into as a society with this digital economy and with Web3. But also, for me, not what that just means for business, but also for the investment opportunities. So looking forward to sharing a little bit about Galactics. And yeah, thanks again for having us.
No, I mean, absolutely. And it sounds like, I know in our other discussions off air, you have had a bit of a winding path through tech and also through participating and helping develop other crypto ecosystems. So, and I think that's what it takes for any project to really get off the ground, is having that wide breadth of experience. And I know you've got Jan, as for people that may or may not know, you may not even need to know, but I've known Jan for a better part of 10 to 12 years, maybe even longer than that now. But I know this is honestly one of the smartest people I've ever met. And every time I talk to him, I feel like I need to study before I talk to him, because he has such a world of experience, and I can't even go on that list. But Jan, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? How did you, what's your path to this point here? And then we can dive into a little bit of the Web3 ecosystem, and then dive into Galactics in a bit.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say I'm also excited to be on the program. I am a big fan of what you're doing, Kelly. I love the information that you're bringing to the masses around the crypto community and the ecosystem. I'm excited to be here. I also just want to note that every single time you give me that introduction and prop me up, it makes me blush, and I'm always thinking like, oh geez, I hope I can deliver. So with that said, my background in the blockchain ecosystem world spans around 7 years. I've been a co-founder and CTO in another company that I started in 2016. And I'm a co-inventor on a few different patents there. So I'm intimately familiar with the nuances, some of the technical nuances of the ecosystem, of the technology, and in the challenges around the adoption of this technology and of the concepts of in Web3. However, today, and I'm really excited about this, I find myself as in a role as the head of business development for Galactics. And we're really excited about this product that we're launching soon. It's going to be very innovative, really, really fun, and really bring in a lot of the key values that Web3 brings to the table.
Well, with that being said, I mean, that was a perfect parlay. And everybody stick around, because while we might be talking about Galactics and diving in on this a bit deeper here in a little bit, there's some very important considerations I think every one of you needs to hear, regardless of where your interest lies in the space. If you're involved anywhere in the crypto ecosystem, it is mandatory that you understand some of these underpinnings, and we're going to break it down in somewhat of a simple form, but also tie that in a little bit Galactics and how they're doing things differently. So with that being said, Jan, blockchain, and I said this in my intro, but I want to just reemphasize, blockchain is definitely among one of the biggest advancements I truly believe in generations. It's not just a monetary access thing, not just cultural exchange and value, but this is one of the biggest advancements for several generations. Yet, as much as I know this, because I've been diving into this for 7-8 years plus, you as well, I'm sure Faye also here in the technical scene and also within the crypto ecosystem, we understand this on a deeper level than the average person. But as much as this has such a big impact, why do you feel like at this rate, is adoption really low right now? Or is it just on pace with something else like the internet? Like, how do we look at this?
Great question. So if we look back at the internet, it took around 10 years for it to reach approximately 50 million people. And blockchain has been able to do that in just several years. I do not think that it is moving that slowly at all. It may seem that way, but I think we're just at the forefront of a wave of mass adoption. And if we really want to, understand Web3, and of course, there's a lot we can unpack there, but at a high level, I think the most salient points of Web3 is that it provides a mechanism for the decentralization of ownership of data and the value of that data. It also provides an ability for transparency within the transactions of that data and the governance of that data. And within Web3, one of the key drivers in the adoption in the ecosystem amongst DeFi are gaming platforms. And in particular, what Galactics is about is iGaming. So with Galactics, we're seeking to incorporate these key elements, such as the democratization and decentralization of ownership. And we're doing that through a fun way, which is through the utilization of tokens, which people can earn through the use of the platform.
Well, I mean that right there, I think you just contextualized it to the most distilled, simple thing. There's all these incredible technical things that I think actually, in some ways, people think makes them adverse to even something like Bitcoin, or especially you get deeper, something like Web3, and people say it's too complicated. My argument always is, tell me how your credit card works. Tell me how your car works. Tell me how that plane flies. Describe to me that jet engine. We don't know. It just comes down to a lot of other things, which I'm sure we're going to be getting into here in a bit. But, and you just mentioned gaming has been this thing that's been on this talking point within crypto influencers, as well as just crypto speculators over the last 7 years, about being likely one of those things that's going to have a higher likelihood of driving mass adoption within the broader crypto ecosystem, let alone a singular project. But so can you tell me a little bit about that? If that's the case, why hasn't it happened yet? And is there a sticking point that's been up until now? And what's this sort of sticking point with the retail that's going to get us to that next stage? Is it going to be gaming? Is it going to be Galactics?
You bring up some great points there, Kelly. So a couple of things. One, I don't think there's just one sticking point. There's usually more than one. And we can unpack that briefly. I think part of the problem in the adoption of the technology and Web3 in general so far has been a lack of maturity and the robustness of the layer one solutions. Those are like the blockchains such as like Polkadot or Near or Ethereum, right? These are layer one solutions. They've been developing, and the speed of transaction on those solutions has been increasing with the adoption of layer two solutions, layer three. that makes transaction speeds a lot faster and improves the utility of those platforms. Also, another issue has been the UI UX of these systems
No,
and
but
the
let me pause you there just for the layman out there, because you said something that was incredible there, and I think it goes back to the technical things: layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. But then you parlayed that into something that I think has much more impact. But again, what if somebody has no idea what this UI UX means? What does that mean? And this, as you're about to say, the ease of use with UI UX, what does that mean and why is that important?
So UI UX. So let's talk about the user experience, which is the UX part of that, right? It's been very challenging, and even for someone like myself that comes from a technical background, when Bitcoin first came out, right, and when Ethereum first came out, and you had to deal with wallet addresses. That was a very foreign concept, right? It's analogous to an account number, but you have this like long string of numbers to deal with. And then you have to transfer, your money through it, et cetera. It's a very complex process. As the solutions mature, there's been more thought given to the interface and the ease of use in using those platforms. So that's what I mean in terms of the ease of use of UX, right? And that's just a broader topic. But bringing it back to what we're talking about, which is really in the gaming industry, and going back to your point of, will gaming be one of these key drivers that champions the proliferation of Web3? I think that it's not going to be a sole driver, but it's a big one, right? Because one big use of these platforms is in DeFi, or decentralized finance. Another thing that's fun is gaming, video gaming, and in our case, iGaming, right? So I know that there has been attempts by large studios to push Web3 through the use of NFTs within games previously. And I know that there's been a bit of a pushback from the gaming communities around the use of NFTs within those platforms. And that really comes from the idea that in this case with Web3, the community itself is very, very important, right? So the value that a community sees within the technology, within the use of that technology within a game, is very, very important. So it's kind of like a grassroots bottoms up movement, right? It's not just a game studio that has to push the value proposition, but the community wants to have it, or needs to have it, want to have it as well. And that's a key.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, this goes back to, you're talking about community, and I think a little bit of that shifting of it's a cultural shift more than anything, right? Just like you said with the account number versus the seed phrase, or the actual wallet address. There's such similarities there, but it's different enough that people feel like it's very foreign. So much so, I mean, this brings to the frame of mind a few years back. I mean, maybe a year and a half ago, I know Starbucks had this whole NFT rewards deal going on with them, and there was this big pushback from the community initially because of what they thought NFTs were, based on the Bored Apes and all this other stuff that they felt foreign. And some people feel like they don't want to participate in crypto. But I think here, what you just brought up, the reason I'm saying this is, with gaming, I think there's a very almost Trojan horse ability that's going to come in here, where there's going to be a lot of participation in the crypto ecosystem just through participating in these platforms without somebody even realizing they're actively participating in crypto. Sometimes for very, very, I'm talking about like the new adopters. With that Starbucks thing I was mentioning, they actually really got it off the ground, from my understanding, by actually changing the terminology from NFT to something else, even though it was still an NFT. So it's just kind of dancing around that cultural unawareness. But it'll be nice when we get beyond all that, I think.
Yep, absolutely.
Go ahead, wrap up the thought.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that key thought there, that with Web3, it's not just about the adoption of the technology, but it's about adopting a mindset that will help us use that technology, right? So we need to shift from the idea of having centralized institutions or some kind of central body govern or regulate something versus moving to the idea where a community, through concepts like a DAO, right, being able to govern themselves. And through that mindset shift will come that movement around the adoption of technologies like blockchain and DeFi. And to tie that up, really, to bring it back to Galactics, we're making it easy for people to use our platform. One, by not necessarily needing KYC of our users initially to ramp up and use the platform. And also, it just takes a couple of minutes to create an account. We have the ability of having a faucet system where people can have some kind of play crypto to play around with on our platform. And we're rolling out our platform with several key major cryptocurrencies that are widely used, so people can come right in and start gaming.
I love it. I mean, you're taking the stories and some of the failures or sticking points of the past of a lot of different, I mean, there's been so many hundreds or thousands of projects that have come before. And I think the people that truly are going to succeed are going to see where those failures are, see where all the successes were and tie those together. And it's starting to see, I'm not sure yet. You're about to let me know, because I'm going to let Faye play devil's advocate here, because Jan, you've been laying some really great groundwork here on Web3, but also tying it into Galactics. But I got to ask, Faye, welcome back to the stage. Speaking of your project, speaking of Galactics, what makes this different? Let's just play devil's advocate here. What makes this different from any other, Web3 gaming or Web3 casino? What's different about Galactics?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things, but I'd say it really comes down to a couple of points, Kelly. So the first one is that at Galactics, what we really do is blend these two worlds. So, as an iGaming company, we really operate at the intersection of gaming and gambling, and we've incorporated these two interesting worlds with the exciting innovations of cryptocurrency and blockchain. So I'd say that's one where we're really different and unique. And then also the second is around innovation. So firstly, our founders come from really interesting backgrounds in blockchain, casinos, and technology. And so our platform is built by players for players. And, we have this story mode gaming concept that is very different and unique in the industry. And we also have a lot of huge variety of games, Galactics originals, as well as other, games really that are catered towards any kind of player. And so, we haven't even launched yet. Galactics launches on the 3rd of June. And so we already, as a team, we're super excited about what's going to happen and be rolled out in the 3rd quarter. New features that we can offer, new rewards and exciting elements to keep things really dynamic and exciting for our players. And then lastly, I would say, where we're really different is that we are really community oriented and focused. And so we don't only welcome, but we really encourage our players to share their experiences with us, let us know their feedback, how we can create new things that they love. Just on this topic of Web3, there's the creator economy is such an important element for us. So we really want to engage with our community and our players. And even us just being here today, it's very rare that you see the names and the identities and the faces behind Web3, crypto especially, and blockchain companies. But we're really proud of what we built. And, we expect to be seeing a lot more of us.
On that note, you said something so important about the basically FaceTime, seeing the faces, understanding, the doxed nature. Some people don't even know what the word doxed means. It's like, hey, I'm the one that's participating in this project. I'm a founder. I'm a builder. So there's some sort of level of, it's funny, Lee, because we're talking about Web3. Transparency is a big part of that. How can you have a Web3 company, or especially a gaming company, if you're not saying transparently, hey, we're the people doing this and we're proud of it? And on that note, I just wanted to make one comment, because I have looked into, I've looked at the surface y'all's website, and just, I was blown away, first off, and I know we're going to get into more of this in a bit, but by the graphics. And it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, because you said something here that made me think of it. You said story mode. It seemed to me when I was looking at it, like there's some sort of innovation there where you're tying together not just card games and slot machines, but there's actually some sort of role-playing RPG sort of elements that tie almost kind of multiple different types of gaming structures together as well. Is that, did I misread that?
No, you're spot on. I mean, we are as much as a gaming company as we are a gambling and a casino platform.
Awesome.
I just also wanted to, and I will jump into more, and I'll also let Jan share a couple of points. But there's also some things we can't share because we haven't launched yet. But, a lot of the viewers will see elements of the platform at the end of the video. So make sure you stay till the end. You can see them yourself. But the story mode concept, I guess, is something really different and unique that we wanted to bring in. So we're constantly keeping this in environment, something it's constantly new. We'll have a lot of quests where players can advance through different levels, unlock new features, new elements of the platform. So as you evolve and grow throughout the platform, you're experiencing new worlds and new elements that make it a lot more fun to your traditional casinos, that have really been an isolated and solitary experience. And just to Jan's point earlier, and also what I mentioned about community, we have a lot of features. We have an on-platform chat forum where a lot of our players, they can share information there with each other, exciting wins. They can share strategies of how to advance through these quests and what this story mode concept is for them and how they've navigated through it, changing different avatars and so forth. So, I think it's something really interesting that's never really been done before in the industry. And that is why we're very different to your traditional kind of casino that you see a lot of today.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And I think Jan did. I think I saw your head wiggle like you had something you wanted to add there as well.
Perhaps, what some of the points, really all the points that Faye brought up are all spot on and great. I think my reflection on that too, and just to reinforce, is that we're bringing a platform to the table that is a blend of some of the joys that people get from playing, let's say, MMORPGs or something like World of Warcraft, right? And then blending it with the excitement that you can get from going to an online casino and winning, right? And really one of the key value propositions that we want to espouse and champion and bring to the forefront for a player is the entertainment value and fun that comes from participating in that platform, right? And then another component of that, of course, being able to win rewards. So I think Galactics is the perfect union of those two things. And one of the reasons why I know Faye and I and our whole team are really excited about working on this project is that it blends those two worlds together, and it brings something new and exciting to the table that I don't think the world has seen yet.
And, on that note, I've played a lot of games over my life, and I spent a lot of hours that as you mature into life or you have other things going on, you start seeing that, man, I'm spending all this time, spending all this energy on something that is transactional in nature, only one, for my entertainment, but two, money going back to the developer. So it's nice that within Web3, there are mechanisms that allow, and it's almost like in some ways, in my mind, of not only the transparency and the democratization, all these buzzwords that a lot of people say, but it puts every individual user on an equal playing field in that you can participate in things and also earn back. Does Galactics have anything like that to where you can actually, rather than just playing, and you can win some money if you win a hand of this or do a quest, but is there any other mechanisms that also lean into that Web3 nature and empower the end user?
Yeah, I'll let Jan take that one. And then I might put in a couple of points at the end about the rewards and offers that we have in addition to just playing the games.
So, one of the things that we offer with Galactics is the ability to mine, and that's a way of saying of earning tokens by wagering or participating and playing on our platform. And there is the idea of there being mining stages that people go through, but that's a lot of detail that people can kind of unpack by taking a look at the about section on our website. The key points here are that there's the concept of a dividend pool. there's a percentage of revenue that's generated through the platform that goes into that dividend pool, and then there's a percent payout out of that dividend pool that goes to the holders of the tokens. So the democratization element here, right, where kind of the rubber hits the road with these concepts really is that we're allowing people to become owners of the house, right? And when people say like, the house always wins, well, in this case, you get to be the house too. And you get to be the house by being a holder of the token. And so, that brings the idea of, whether you're winning or losing, you're still kind of winning at the end of the day. And you're getting to participate as being kind of a shareholder of the platform.
Well, I guess this is going to bode incredibly well because I've seen over the last two cycles primarily, some of the largest, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we have to be aware of it. Some of the largest gaining assets that I've seen in the cycle are ones that you can identify have strong fundamentals, an incredible team, and being an early adopter or early participant in those communities. And, rather than just looking for airdrops or trying to go out there and, be an avid, Twitter reposter. No, with this, it seems like Galactics, it's actually, you can just actually benefit from having all the entertainment, doing the story quests, having the community, but then also because you're actively participating in the ecosystem, you're gaining a stakehold in this ecosystem also at an early stage. So you have a chance to really participate in growing along with something that you're also being entertained by. Is that kind of a good synopsis of what's going on here?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And also, I feel like we've skipped a couple of things. So about the GLX token, because we've kind of referred to that, but we haven't explained it. So the GLX token is Galactic's native token and I think, would be really interesting for your listeners to know that it's a really great source of passive income. And so it is being set to trade in the second half of this year in 2024. Firstly, how do you even get a GLX token? You get them just by starting, now before they go live into the public market, you can get GLX tokens by signing up. You just register an account, connect your socials, and you will have 10 GLX coins. When we do go live on June 3rd, and you are playing, you're wagering, spinning wheels, and you're active on the platform, and then in the future, when the tokens are trading publicly in the market, the holders will receive dividends, from holding these tokens, as Jan just mentioned. And then, lastly, I can't say too much, but we have quite a few things in our product development roadmap that holders of GLX tokens will be able to do on and off the platform. So, I think that's really important to let people know. We do have our own native token.
That's great, but we got to take a step back here for a second. I do want to give a little bit of authority to everything you're saying as well, because I did recently also see that you guys were mentioned or included in Business Insider, Investing.com, Bazinga, Binance. So you're clearly making waves. The right type of people are making notice of what you guys are doing. And so I want to encourage you to stick on this path because it seems like you have the best intentions in mind for all the consumers. But I got to ask, this is a Web3 platform. Crypto gaming. Yeah. We talked about the GLX token, but if I'm onboarding, can I onboard with Luna? Can I onboard? I'm just joking with that because Luna has failed. But what cryptos are we on? Is it just a Bitcoin thing? Ethereum? Is it a Tron? Like what's going to be the launch state there?
No, really great question, actually. So our platform will support transactions in all of the major cryptocurrencies. Obviously, when we go an MVP, we'll have a certain limit, but it's a constant, ever evolving industry with cryptocurrency. There are new things coming out. So we are really responsive to know what's happening and incorporating new cryptocurrencies into the platform. But there will obviously be, the main ones of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron. I think we'll have about maybe 8 or 10 when we go live on MVP. But then also in the future, we will allow for fiat currency. So that's going to also be something that's really different for us as well. So lots of different options. I
mean, it seems like you guys and gals, we got to be more broad with that, right? You guys and gals, your team, it's clear that you guys have come from a broad, different array of backgrounds because the blending of the different gaming styles, the different access points for the different types of crypto people can onboard, the fact that you can participate in something that is entertaining and also have some sort of something that gives, I don't want to say longevity, but like I think Jan said it best, you know, you're getting a share of the house. So it's not just the house wins. In this case, if you're playing and participating, you're participating also in the, I think you said mining. It's kind of like a wagering and playing also is a mining effect. If I didn't mishear you correctly, Jan, but also you're getting that larger stake and also coins that could, we can't guarantee it. Not financial advice. It is an early platform. This is the best time to get on early, you know what I'm saying? But just saying, you know, there's a lot of things going on there. So Jan, I do see Galactics also has with this, because you mentioned Faye, you mentioned fiat, but people come from all over the world. People also, you know, it's hard to gauge when you're playing, you know, especially with volatility of crypto, what your portfolio value is. Not portfolio, whatever your bank, I don't know what you guys call it at Galactics, but I saw that you do have some sort of portfolio or vault function. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What is a function of that, and how does that mechanism work? And what's the point of it?
Absolutely. So the vault function is a function that's kind of tied to your wallet. So taking a step back, when you deposit money into the platform, it goes into your wallet, right? And your wallet can hold more than one. It can hold several different cryptocurrencies and eventually also fiat, which is, you know, for those not familiar, like just the US dollar or general money, non-crypto money. What we've developed...
I dare to say the fake money that's out there.
Yes, I think there's a lot of people on your program here that would agree with that, and I would probably I'm one of those as well. Going back to the vault system, it's a mechanism that allows people to separate a portion of the funds that are within the wallet into another bucket, if you will, called a vault. And in the vault, you can store money that is not going to be tied to your active wagering balance, right? So if you play a game on our platform and you bet money, and there's these features called auto bet, if you don't set a limit to that, that'll just run your balance down, right? And of course, you know, prudent gaming would say put a limit on it. However, as a fail-safe to that, and also as a means for people to just manage their money responsibly, people can take money that's in their wallet, put it in the vault that kind of gets locked away. And then another component of that, where we're innovating and really bringing some DeFi type functionality into the platform, is that through this portfolio functionality, we're allowing people to tie the value, the dollar value of the totality of the value of all of the cryptocurrencies that they may have in their vault, and peg it to the value of another crypto, let's say like Bitcoin, so that when that money that is sitting in your vault, right, isn't just stagnant, it can be tied to the value of Bitcoin, so that when Bitcoin moves, and, you know, we're saying up and to the left, like as if, you know, if it goes up, and it will, then the value of your portfolio, or the value of the cryptocurrencies in your vault, also goes up. So that's it in a nutshell.
I will say, if the value of Bitcoin goes up and to the left, and we have reasonably traveled back in time, I want that thing to go up and to the right. But so, you know, there's just so many different things going on here. And just for everybody that's listening right now, I want you to realize, yes, this channel has sponsors, and it's only recently that I've even taken them on. And I've been very, very, very careful to pull on teams like this with Galactics, or we also have our, you know, other just broader whole network sponsor, Arculus, but it's specifically teams of people that are doing things that are tying in necessary things within the crypto ecosystem, or exemplifying things or different elements. In this case, Web3, gaming. There's a crypto casino, but what are some of the things that Faye just said? What are some of the things that Jan just said? They're thinking about not only ways to make sure you have a new way to be entertained, tying in a lot of different elements, creating, as they said, innovating something new, but also creating mechanisms that you can participate in, basically driving a further share of your ownership of this thing that you're entertained by. And in addition to that, Jan also just said that they have this portfolio and vault section or system set up in there, so you can participate in crypto gambling, participate in crypto gaming responsibly and ethically. And I think that's one of the number one things. In fact, I'm filming this from Las Vegas right now, from a friend's studio. And one of the things I see, and these are multi-million dollar casinos out here. I don't see any element of ethics or responsible gaming anywhere out there. So it's nice to see in the Web3 space and with you all at Galactics that not only, highlighting entertainment and value and also responsibility, but you're doing it in a way that's exemplifying all the tenets of Web3. And yeah, we're talking about a specific project here, but it's exemplifying all the different things that Web3 can do.
I did also just want to mention a couple of points about Galactics rewards. So first and foremost, Galactics gives 70% back to the user through a range of rewards and bonuses. Now, that's not something you see too often in the iGaming or casino industry, where people tend to walk away empty-handed. So we believe it's quite generous. In addition to what Jan had also just mentioned about dividends, we have rakeback. So for anyone that isn't familiar with the concept rakeback, it simply means that for every bet that you place, a percentage will go to your rakeback account. Now, it doesn't matter if you win or lose the bet that you place, your rakeback account balance will increase with every bet that you place. We also have a lot of competitions between players through our leagues and tournaments. And coming later in the year, we're going to have some really cool themed events and competitions. And we are also rolling out a very robust VIP program. So in addition to all of the rewards I just mentioned, we'll also have cashback, deposit match bonus, free spins, lots of really fun elements there. And we do go live in a couple of weeks, but until then, we're still running our $25,000 referral competition. So anybody can sign up for that. Just go to galactics.io, create your account. You will then have a referral code, which you can share with your friends and followers. So lots of good rewards.
I got to throw it back to Jan because I have something on a technical level that I think is going to be very important for users here. So Jan, we all know, and I've spoken about this a lot here, Web3, crypto, this entire blockchain ecosystem feels like it is absolutely moving beyond light speed. It's hard to keep up with this. So as a developer or as a project itself, are you guys able to move with this lightning speed of evolution? Are you guys prepared? Like, is there scalability involved, or is there a potential that you're going to get left behind?
That's a great question, Kelly. So one of the things that we're proud of at Galactics is that our development team has built this platform from scratch, from the ground up. And it's done that as opposed to white labeling another crypto casino's platform. So what that lets us do is scale the platform and innovate and bring in new features to meet the needs of the market and keep moving with that lightning speed.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's one of those things. I'm glad you said that, the white label thing versus building it from scratch, because it's almost like AI nowadays with it's getting to the point where it's hard to tell what image or what news story is real. Same thing with businesses. There's so many quick wizard business builder fixes website that you can't tell who actually did the work to say, I know this, every nut, every bolt, and I've built it to actually know exactly where I want to modularly attach this and add this. So it's awesome that, I mean, from a technical standpoint as a company, that you have built this from the ground up. So, I mean, we've covered a lot today with what's going on with Web3, with what's going on with the impact culturally that Web3 and blockchain is going to bring, but also tying this in to how you all have implemented it within Galactics and the fact that you've built a system that, as we mentioned before, all the entertainment, but also empowering the end user to actively have a share and a stake in the thing they're participating in. So is there anything else that you wanted to wrap out on this? Any other benefits, features, awesome little things that you haven't mentioned yet, or where are we at with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's There is a lot. I just want to make the point of when we actually do go live, and that is the 3rd of June. We're already open for pre-registration. We have a lot of activity across our social media platforms. So anyone listening in, can join there and follow along for updates and announcements we have about the platform before we go live and then after. But yeah, I would say those. And also our white paper is going to be released soon as well.
And just so everybody knows, we do have a video from their team that we're going to be sharing right after this. So don't go anywhere. It's really cool. Kind of look under the hood, a little preview of what they got going on there. And I'm just going to, if you would, I'll see if I pass the test. You guys let me know if I pass the test here. So your Web3 gaming platform that really engages with building community, gives the ability for end users to actually participate and not only being entertained with a new type of entertainment, taking elements from different types of games, creating its own new thing with gambling and also role-playing games, but also having some DeFi elements with dividends and rewards. And it seems like you kind of took the best part of every different part of blockchain as well as entertainment and said, hey, let's make a little gym here. And we can't call it Jim because that's my friend's name. Let's call it Galactics. Is this kind of what's going on here?
I mean, yeah, for sure. It's also important to note that we're fully licensed casinos, and also that I think there's a lot of noise in the industry of iGaming, and we really understand and we take the responsibility. We know that we bear the responsibility for promoting safe and responsible gambling and gaming practices. So, I think that would be, probably, you said it perfectly in a nutshell, but just the fact that we care about those elements for our community, and also that we're licensed are, I guess, the last points I would want to mention in there.
All right, that was absolutely awesome. I mean, I don't know any of you out there watching, you got to hit the like button because it's clear that they're doing something a little different. And you know what? I can't wait to participate in this. And I have to say, Faye, Jan, thank you so much for your time. If you have any other closing words before you do, again, thank you for your time and sharing all this information with us. But any closing words and we can wrap it out?
Yeah, I will say that one of the reasons that I'm passionate about our project, and I know that our whole team is that we're really bringing a lot of features into the platform that's going to make it fun, right? That it's a fun first kind of motto. One of the things about other platforms is that these games can be pretty dry. So I think you'll see and be pleasantly surprised with Galactics that there's a lot of really cool, fun features along the story-driven gameplay mode that really make it engaging and fun and gives you a reason outside of just winning money to want to return and participate within the community. So we're excited to see you at launch, and I'll hand it over to Faye.
Yeah, no, I mean, I mentioned them earlier. We're launching June 3rd. We're open for pre-registration. If you sign up between now and when we launch, you can connect your socials. You will also get 10 GLX coins. And we also have a $25,000 referral competition that's going. So just by sharing your link, you can climb the leaderboard. And yeah, like I mentioned, also follow along for updates and announcements in our socials.
And everybody, I do have the link. If I haven't seen it on the screen yet, the link is down below in the description of this video. And just so you all know, transparency, I'll drive as many of you all as I can to sign up here at GLX. Don't worry, I'm not I'm not participating in that $25,000 competition. That's all for you guys, so you can bring your friends and family, get involved. You know, as I've mentioned before on my stream, I do this on every stream. I am an avid crypto enthusiast. I travel the world, and so no matter what I do, no matter where I go, I always make sure I have a VPN on so people cannot look in to see where my computer is, look in to try and take my crypto. It's an absolute must do for anybody. And it also allows me to have some access to things that other people say they don't. So make sure you protect your security with VPNs. And again, GLX, Galactics, Jan, Faye, I really appreciate you all more than I can even say. Thank you for being here. And with that, everybody hit that like button for this wonderful pair here from the Galactics team. And we'll see you in the next video. Adios, muchachos.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.